In this episode of Gareth Jones on Speed, we watch the stunning end to the 2025 running of the 24 Hours of Le Mans. I review the INEOS Grenadier, I sort out a sweepstake, and I stop a cat fight. Welcome to my front garden here in Conway. I've just come out because I want to talk to you about the Grenadier, but Seamus, my cat, is having a conversation with Archie's next door cat. What's going on, guys? What you saying? Nothing? Archie, what's he saying? You guys not going to fight, right? Good. Sometimes they're friends. Hey, I've got a new friend. This INEOS Grenadier that's parked outside my house, and I thought I'd come outside and tell you a little more about it because it's left quite an impression on me over the last 6-7 days that we've had it for the trip to Le Mans and back. We haven't taken it off-road, which is a great shame because that's what this is designed for. It really will tow, what is it, 3.5 ton? I'm not sure the figures. It will tow across rough land, you know. It's designed for that with its ladder chassis and off-road tyres. The plan originally was for the Grenadier to be a utilitarian vehicle. Sir Jim Ratcliffe said he'd spotted a gap in the market, which is why he wanted to build, let's call it a Defender, right? An Ultra Defender, or Pretender, I call it. The Land Rover Pretender. Well, no, it's unfair. It is its own thing, the INEOS Grenadier. You can get a utilitarian version if you want. There is the, what do they call it? The Quartermaster, which is the pickup. And they do stripped-down versions. But the one that we've got, this Belstaff 1924 limited edition version, is a bit swanky. It really is. It feels it. It doesn't feel, what's the word? Yeah, it feels premium because it offers something that no one else does, but it doesn't feel plush. I think I mentioned that before. Like a Range Rover, it's like you're out to do business in this. When it first arrived, I stood back at it and I looked at it and I thought, crikey, it looks like you work for a government agency driving a black utilitarian car like this that's largely blacked out windows. Maybe we do. Are you a Doctor Who fan? Do you watch Doctor Who at all? I do. I have done since I was a little boy. And UNIT, the, what are they called? The Unified National Intelligence Task Force. I think that's what this stands for. It used to stand for United Nations Intelligence Task Force. But UNIT, who are kind of a crack sub-government operation, they all drive around in INEOS Grenadiers. Have you spotted that in the most recent series? When UNIT turn up, they're in a Grenadier. Gives that sort of impression. It looks like you may work for the CIA. It's full of good ideas, this car. The thing I like most about it is the utility belt. You know, in the boot of a vehicle, let's see if I can open my boot. I'll unlock it first. Listen to this, by the way. Click, right? Very subtle unlocking. I'll come back to that. You stick your head in the boot. It's a classic sort of like the what is it? The County, the Land Rover Defender County asymmetric boot, sort of 70-30 perhaps the split. So you get a little door. Ooh, let's get my bass guitar out. I've been rehearsing for 20 years on the Speed, and I actually took this vehicle to rehearsals last night and I forgot I left my bass in the boot. Good job it's still there, right? Secure. I'm going to put it inside the house. I'm not leaving it outside the front door, otherwise I'll forget. Seamus can look after it. Right, so inside the boot, as you were, you get load straps that fit in a rail, right? I've got my head in the boot now. You know those little load straps, plastic plugs that fit into a rail, and when you've got the technique right and you press it the right way, you can pop it out like that. That wasn't the sound it made. Come outside, and if you want, plug it into a rail that's down the flanks of the car, on the doors and on the the boot, you might say, the flanks left and right. And they call it a utility belt. That's nice, isn't it? A utility belt. The bat belt was a utility belt. And so you can hang all sorts of stuff off there, like cooking stuff and your clothes rail, or pots and pans if you're out in the jungle or the desert having a Bedouin feast somewhere, because you could do that in this. This would be a great car for trekking across undeveloped parts of countries. It really, really is. I can't imagine much better. A Unimog, a G-Wagon, maybe the new Defender, but the way that this does it is, you know what you're going to get, right? So, on sounds, right, here we go. The rear door, the little one, when you close it, makes this noise. Cat. Right, let's have that again. I think it says cat. Cat. That's the boot, the little boot door. The rear doors make this sound. Cud. Cud. The front door makes this sound. Chud. Chud. And I've learnt that you've really got to slam the doors. It's a big long swing and close the doors. And that's sort of part of the chunky appeal. Do you remember when I reviewed my little cactus? Well, I bought a cactus, but when it first came out, the cactus, and I drove it, I like the utilitarian quality of that. I'm just, you've got to pull the bonnet thing twice to release the bonnet. And if I lift the bonnet up, listen to the sound that the bonnet makes. I'll wait for that Skoda to roll by. Here we go, listen. Bad! Pretty sure it says bad. And it's the sound of this vehicle that I was going to complain about. Not the engine noise, no, not the wind noise, no, that's fine. The sound is... I'm inside the vehicle. Oh my gosh, it's hot today. The sound I'm complaining about is the sound of the lock, right? Here we go, the central locking. That's it. That's all you're getting. I'm going to open the door, it's too hot. A G-Wagon, you've heard me say this before, the sound of the central locking on a G-Wagon sounds like a dozen Russian troops cocking their weapon. It really does. There's a cat fight going on here now. Now, here we go. You guys, hey, where are you? Trying to make a podcast here. Guys, where are you? I'll find them. You round the side. You two, break it up. Come on. Seamus, get out of here. Come on. Archie, go home. He's in a terrible mood. God, blimey. Seamus, don't pick fights with your mate. Come on, he's in your garden, but you go in his. It's only fair. Right, where were we? Back in the vehicle. The sound of the central locking on a G-Wagon, to me, sounds like a dozen Soviet troops cocking their weapon. It's the best thing, and it's silly, but you remember stuff about a car. There's something about it that you will love, you will associate with, you will build a relationship with. And I think I've done that with this car this week. I drive lots and lots and lots of cars, but I tend to choose cars I want to champion. I'm curious and I believe in them. And I believe in the INEOS Grenadier. I'm uncertain if the market is big enough to support it and make a profit. It's very hard to build cars anywhere except China at the moment and make a profit, unless you're an ultra super premium manufacturer, and even those guys struggle. So there's no guarantee that this vehicle will continue. Maybe that's a bit dark. I don't know if that's true. I think, it will be saved and they will be reinvested, and they're talking about expanding the range. There's going to be a smaller version, and there may be an electric version next year on a skateboard platform. I believe INEOS have signed a Chinese partner to develop the vehicle going forward, which is probably a very smart idea. But you know what, for a startup, which is what they are, but they've leaned on the skills of an existing factory. They took over the smart factory, so the skill sets and the processes remain the same. And because INEOS were actually manufacturing cars for Mercedes during that period, or Smart, they have learned how to make cars, you might say, or they retained the people that were making smart cars and they're now building this. It was engineered by Steyr Daimler Puch, or is it just Steyr now, in Graz in Austria. They're flawless. As a vehicle, it's great. Has it got any flaws? We had a little electrical weirdness, but I think that's probably down to a little bit of miscommunication. When we were given the vehicle, we were advised that it had two batteries, the system battery and the leisure battery. So, yeah, absolutely, we could run our cool box on the vehicle at the campsite, which we did, and it flattened the battery because there isn't a leisure battery on this particular vehicle. The leisure battery, which sits under the passenger seat on the rear, had been replaced by a sub-bass. So yeah, the sound was good, although it did struggle a little bit. I know we were going at real motorway speeds. I really struggled to hear when the infotainment system read out any text messages to me. I couldn't get it any louder no matter what I did with settings. I could hear the music okay, sound system's pretty good, wouldn't say it was unbelievable, but it was good enough. But the electrical issue we had, we flattened the battery. Whilst we were at the Team Langoustine campsite at Le Mans, I borrowed a battery pack and we started it and ran it and charged it. And whenever the battery dipped below 50%, it gave us your battery's a bit low warning on the dash. But we noticed a couple of system things. One is it crashed out of Bluetooth on a number of occasions when we had two phones connected, one for nav and one for music separately. It didn't like that. And then the other day, I was just going to bed, putting the house to bed, looked outside the front window, and I could see that the display was on the vehicle from my living room. So I came out and it had frozen. The whole display had frozen. It was a simple matter to reset it, just to press the power button for 30 seconds and it reset and it came back and it was fine. But then the next day when I drove the vehicle, it's giving me a battery warning again. Now, the guys are coming to collect the vehicle today. This is my last few moments with my brave Grenadier, the brave Grenadier. And I'm going to pop out, put some fuel in it for them and drive it around a little bit to make sure it's charged. The only downside of that is there's a serious blockage on the A55, the main trunk road in North Wales, at the moment. So this might be a bit of a slow journey, but I'm going to enjoy it because I really do feel an attachment to this car. I wish it well. Oh, the final thought. I was at Le Mans by the front gate and I'm just crossing to walk up the hill past the museum back to our campsite, and I noticed a bunch of gendarmes driving around in French vehicles, Renaults and Peugeots, all in dark blue. But with them was an inky black Grenadier with a blue light on top. I got a picture of it as it rolled by. My gosh, it looked wicked. And it had the steel wheels. And quite frankly, I love the steel wheels. If it's going to be utilitarian, make it utilitarian. The alloys that we've got on this one, they're absolutely fine. They're lovely. But you know me, a bit of utilitarian goes a long way, and I adore the steel wheels. It's an expensive car, this particular one, £83,000. But they start much cheaper, I believe, in the 50s somewhere. And I hope the market is big enough to sustain it, because it's impressed me. Just wish we could have taken it off-road, but you know, those are the people who are going to buy this, people who need to do that, people who need to tow horses in the countryside, people who have speedboats to get down ramps, right? People who live near the sea or live near the mountains or live in the countryside or live in an undeveloped area. It's hard to imagine a vehicle that would do the job better than the INEOS Grenadier. It really is. I'd like to drive some of the others, but yeah, feel quite an attachment to this one. As I'm sure you've worked out, that last bit was recorded a few days after we got back from Le Mans, when I took a break in editing just to give my final thoughts on that glorious car. But now I return you to our coverage of the 2025 Le Mans 24 Hours as we go trackside in the morning. Hello again. Good morning. It's only just good morning. What time is it now? It is 3 minutes to midday. So 4 hours left of the greatest race in the universe. I'm pleased that my voice is working again. I can see Zog. There he is. Sorry. Zog's been trying to find us. We're parked at Tête Rouge, trying to work out what's going on. A little bit tricky because my dear pocket radio, which allows me to listen to Radio Le Mans and keep up with what's going on, truly has died. Fair play, it did 15 years good work, but what you don't want to do is for that to die when you're at the circuit. You want it to die when you're testing it before you can come out to the race. I love this sound. So where are we in terms of motorsport? Well, there's been some drama while I was asleep. I think my United Autosports McLaren died or had some sort of incident over the night. I'm not sure what. I was either asleep or drinking at the time, as you know. And let's have a look. Who's leading at the moment? Well, Yiffy in the number 83 AF Course Ferrari. Second is the number 50 Ferrari. And my car is in third place at the moment. So it's entirely possible that I could win the sweepstake. Let's see. But let's see how the other two cars in the other two classes go. I'm going to have a look at the classification in a moment. Alpine still running, going past me. Temperature's extraordinary. It's hot in the sun, but there's a cold wind blowing. And I can't work out if I'm hot or cold or hungover. That's how it works. Now, a few of us have woken up today going, oh, it's all over, it's for my car, oh, it's all over, you know, but actually, with 4 hours still left, as the gendarmes fly over in their helicopter, with 4 hours left, anything can still happen. In fact, there was an incident a moment ago where one of the Ferraris made an error coming into the pits and was beached, managed to get going, but ooh. And Stevie was telling me about how Robert Kubica was screaming on the radio and raging in an interview in the pits about some thing that he felt should have happened but didn't happen. But it looks good for Ferrari at the moment. Where are the other cars? Let's just have a look at this point. One of the Penske Porsches, the number 6, is running fourth. The Cadillac or one of the Cadillacs is fifth, and sixth is Nick de Vries in the Toyota, which is Toyota number 7 Toyota, and another Penske Porsche in fifth. So if you look at the top class, it's looking good for the LMH hypercars and less good for the LMDH hypercars at the moment, but with slightly, well, it says on my watch midday right now, so exactly 4 hours to go. There's still an awful lot to play for. With 3 hours and 36 minutes or thereabouts left of the race, the number 28 IDEC or EDEC Sport LMP2 has gone off, I think, in the S's. I think because there's a slow zone that extends right until the entrance to the Mulsanne Straight is a Valkyrie. And so we're right at the marshal post and they're waving green flags. The green flag zone starts here. And so you can... That's a Peugeot, very gingerly. Another Valkyrie, wait for it. Nice sound, nice sound. So what we've got here is an example of the cars engaging full power from... Yeah, that was a Cadillac. Engaging full power from the line to accelerate onto the straight. So you get to hear and see them because they flash by here. The pace at which they come into Tête Rouge is extraordinary. But at the moment, because they're in a slow zone, for the first time I've got a chance to seriously analyse the cars as they go by. Another LMP2. They don't spend long in the lower gears, do they? Burp, burp. The LMP2s, by the way, are still some of the most dramatic sounding engines here, built by Gibson Technologies. Was Zytec. And was it Zytec or Zetec? I can't remember now. See, I'm forgetting things again. Who, of course, used to build and engineer and supply the engines for A1 Grand Prix. So it's nice to see them still delivering. And will they be the preferred engine supplier for the next generation of LMP2 going forward, as they say? Alpines must have very good energy recovery systems because they are the quietest cars, I would say. Right, it's a Peugeot. Grumpy. What we got there? LMP2. Oh, there's an advert on the screen at the moment showing a Lancia Beta Coupe. I used to own an HPE. It's nice to see them. I recognised it from the door frame. They're clearly still having trouble clearing that EDEC number 28 car because there's still a slow zone right up until the line. But racing will resume. There's my Ferrari, sounding slick. Well, it looks like it, I'm not going to tempt fate by saying it looks like it probably is going to be a Ferrari win, but with 3.5 hours left, I'm not going to tempt fate. Exactly 1 hour to go to the end of this race, and it's all gone quiet as a car has been pushed off the circuit. They've gone for a full course yellow, only the second one I've witnessed in this race. There may have been others, but I've only seen two. And so there's this remarkable quiet as the cars, instead of popping and thundering arriving into the corner, rumble by on tick over like this Aston Martin. Okay, as it goes green, how about that? Just as I say that, it goes green. And by Aston Martin I meant one of the V8 GTs, not the screaming V12s, which are a highlight of this race. As far as the result goes of the race, the Robert Kubica car, the AF Course Ferrari, is leading. My Ferrari, the number 51, is currently fourth behind the other Ferrari, the other official Ferrari, you might say, and one of the Porsches, which seems to be in that position at the moment. So, you know, it's still very much a race, and Le Mans, as we know from previous experience, ain't over until it's over, and disaster can strike in the last few laps, even the last few seconds. It can be a very cruel race, this, which is why it's so exciting, why it's so tense, and why you find yourself holding your breath, which I've been doing for the last half an hour. What is going to happen? It's a really lovely day here today, by the way. Beautiful sunshine, cool wind, just perfect. I mean, it's been a dry race. The only rain we had over the weekend was it a Friday? Very brief thunderstorm. Yeah, it was, when Stevie and Zog went exploring the circuit and got caught in the rain. Otherwise, it's been immaculately dry. So how that has a bearing on the distance that the cars will achieve in the time available. I mean, they're flying. They're doing, what, 3:26-minute laps? That's pretty impressive. The pace of the hypercars is consistent and astounding. It's a good race, Le Mans, but there again, you knew that, didn't you? Everybody is standing up because we're on the last lap of the world's greatest motor race. As Robert Kubica goes past in the yellow Ferrari AF course number 83 car, or Giallo if you're speaking Italian. I don't know what yellow is in Polish. I'm going to work that out as a tribute to his incredible achievements, doing what he's just done. That's amazing. Amazing. My Ferrari is 25 seconds behind. There it is. And the third Ferrari. Wow. I'm just hearing that there's a Polish driver in the LMP2 who's going to win that class as well. So a big win for Poland at Le Mans this year. And uniquely, there's a Chinese driver in the winning car. First time a Chinese driver has ever stood on the top step of the podium at Le Mans. Incredible. I remember the very early days of Chinese motorsport. Well, not very early days, but it was, 20 years ago when Chen Zhijiang was one of the drivers for Team A1 Grand Prix China. Can't remember the other guy's name. He was also Chinese, obviously. He was a national. The driver in each team had to be the nationality of that team. As Cadillac goes by, an LMP2, a Richard Mille Ferrari, another Ferrari 296. This has been a fascinating Le Mans, a sprint, like I said earlier on, from start to finish. I'm watching the screens as that beautiful yellow Ferrari, the wrong one, but hey, I'm Tifosi, so I'll take any Ferrari win, takes the plaudits of the crowd, who all stand up and applaud. And if I wasn't holding a microphone and a radio, I would be applauding as well. Trying to untangle myself from cables. You see all the crew standing on the pit wall, ready to welcome their car home. That must be an incredible feeling to finally get there. The AF course car did well last year but dropped out, but this time wins the 93rd running of the Le Mans 24 hours. Incredible. Well, the AF course, that superb Italian racing team, who've now clocked 3 outright wins at Le Mans. There goes one of the Cadillacs and a Mercedes GT3 as all the GTs roll past. The celebrations start in the pits. I can see the flag waving, Italian crew bouncing up and down, and of course crying because they're emotional and more than a little tired. And that's it, the last of the cars I think has passed, because all the marshals have now gathered in front of us with flags, all dressed in orange. It looks amazing, honestly, it's immaculate. Helicopters overhead, everybody holding cameras. Oh, there goes the LMP2 car, waved by, oh, here's the Valkyrie, giving it a little blast as they go past the marshals. And here's Robert Kubica with first written on the side of his car. And here come, I hope, my 2 Ferraris. The first one, my Ferrari, the number 51, second at Le Mans, or third actually, with a Porsche getting second. And then the third Ferrari in 4th place. Wow. Well, almost impossible to know what else to say. As a Mustang goes by, an Alpine, a Porsche, a United Autosport LMP2, the number 5 Penske Porsche, the number 9 Valkyrie still running, and they'll be pleased with that, because not only did Thor, the heart of racing, get both Valkyries to the end of the race, itself was a target, I think, but they finished ahead of every single LMP2 car, which I'm sure they'll be pleased with. I think they finished, was it 15th and 17th? Still a long way to go, but they've certainly got a competitive team and a car at a very early stage of its development. And there goes a Hertz Cadillac and a 296, the number 81 Ferrari, and the car with probably the best livery, one of the LMP2 cars, the 103, with an amazing iridescent reflective gold paint scheme. That's memorable, that one. I'm just looking at the shots of the overhead of the 2 Ferraris going down the Mulsanne Straight. Beautiful collection of yellows and reds. The other Cadillac still grumbling in 5th place, and a Porsche 911, and still the cars keep coming, I think. I'm not going to stop recording until every car has gone past. They've entertained me for 24 hours. I want to show them due respect. Applause for the number 8 Toyota, 16th, beaten by one of the Valkyries. The mighty Toyota beaten by a car in its first year. Another Penske Porsche, 9th in class. The Aston Martin Heart Racing number 27 car rumbles by in its blue THOR colours. A purple 199 LMP2 car, the number 29 LMP2 car, the number 23 United Autosports LMP2 car goes by. The number 48, you counting how many cars have gone by? They don't know how many running at the end. The number 48, the number 11, the number 37. Is that Mick Schumacher's Alpine going by? The number 35. Wow. And still the cars keep coming. I'm not going to stop. The Mercedes, 12th in class, the number 61. Looking great. Nice to see the silver arrows in silver back at Le Mans in the anniversary of that utter tragedy in 1955, which caused Mercedes to withdraw from all of motorsport. Big applause for the marshals. Hard working, they do it for the love of the sport. And if you're a marshal listening to this, thank you and respect. It's thank you from me, Gareth Jones. I take him bows. Yes. Hey, it's goodbye from me. It's goodbye from Phil Williams. Enjoy, Phil.
Goodbye, fantastic.
Your second Le Mans. You going to come again?
Yeah, for sure, yeah.
Next year?
Yeah.
No question. Zogger, you enjoy that one?
Oh yeah, fantastic result. No, wonderful to see Kubica take that, and we had, you had a proper race
this year,
for,
it's going to be
a Ferrari was going to win. That looked very likely from pretty early on, but we didn't know which one, and I'm delighted that Kubica took it.
But you got a Porsche up there as well. Not one of your Porsches, but a Porsche.
A Porsche, yeah. Honestly, I was rooting for the number 4. I was rooting for Nick Tandy's car, but 6 came in second, so that's great. No, it's a good result. It's Le Mans. Ferrari and Porsche up there at the sharp end is
no surprise. Feels right.
Nothing wrong with that.
Yeah,
at all.
Entitled to win because they've got a heritage, right? But you've got to deserve it. You've got to earn it every time.
Yeah, they've got to earn it. It's not their right.
Yeah.
Not their right
true. Not their right.
Yeah,
That's true. You've got to earn it. Stevie, how was Le Mans this year for you?
Remarkable.
And what was remarkable about
the
it?
whole thing? The Valkyries.
Yeah. They do well.
They made it to the end.
Yeah.
Jensen in the Cadillac. The Cadillacs were good.
Yeah. Well, they were certainly the quickest in qualifying, which is a kind of a surprise, really.
And they finished 5th and 8th, I think. They had a great race. Wonderful race. Ferrari were too strong, but the Porsche was
close at the end.
Amazing. And then the drama when Kubica took the lead. I mean, when the 83 car took the lead, it was just extraordinary.
See, that's Le Mans every year. Drama.
Yes.
Every year. Chris, Ryan.
Hello.
Your second Le Mans now.
Yes.
How was this one for you compared to the last one?
Well, do you know what? I managed to stay up till 6:30 this morning.
I know you did.
This time. Fantastic.
You were up with me till 3:30 drinking. Then you carried on drinking and watching the race.
This farmer mate of mine I met
last year.
Farmer engineer guy. No, this
morning, making new
big
friends.
Fella. Oh, of course, yeah. So that was nice bringing the dawn in with him. Nobody here really on the corner, Tech Rouge corner. Just really nice.
Private race for you.
Yeah.
So, this is your second Le Mans. You know an awful lot more about this sport than you did last year. Does it make you hungry for more?
It makes me hungry to do less walking.
And more drinking.
Well, yeah, whatever, that's part of it, I think, isn't it? It's part of the celebrations and the social side of it, isn't it?
Yeah.
But, the racing was great. I thought the cars were really good.
Epic.
And did so badly in the sweepstake.
Oh yeah, we've got to resolve the sweepstake, haven't we? All right, let's do that.
Gareth Jones on speed.
Right then, now that the race is over and all the scores have been added up, here is the result of the 2025 Le Mans 24-hour Gareth Jones on Speed sweepstake. In 5th place, Phil Williams. Phil's GT3 choice, the number 95, did not finish. In LMP2, the CLX Pure Racing Phil chose finished 32nd. And in Hypercar, the number 101 Cadillac, that didn't finish either. Poor old Phil in 5th place. In 4th place, with a choice of in GT3, the number 61, that finished 44th. And in LMP2, the number 18, IDEX Sport, that did not finish. And in Hypercar, the number 38, Jota Cadillac, which finished 7th. That's Stevie in 4th place. Now, the same result goes for Zog, except that Stevie chose the number 007 Aston in the tiebreak, and Zog chose the number 4 Penske Porsche, which finished better than the Aston. So Zog is in 3rd place. In 2nd place, with a choice of the GT3 car, the number 59 United Autosport car, which did not finish. That's me. In LMP2, the number 18 IDEX Sport car, that did not finish. That's me. And the number 51 Ferrari finished third. But the winner of the 2025 sweepstake is Chris Ryan, mainly because his GT3 car, the number 13 AWA Racing Corvette, finished in 42nd. The number 16 RLRM car finished in 29th, giving a good haul of points, along with the number 4 Penske Porsche 963, which finished in 8th place. So the winner in his second ever Le Mans is Chris Ryan. Next year, I'm going to get him to lay bets for us. That's it for our coverage of the 2025 Le Mans 24 Hours. I hope you enjoyed it as much as we did, or even more, and we had a great time. And if you want to have another great time, come and join us in Llandudno in North Wales on July the 19th, a Saturday evening. Book a hotel in lovely Llandudno, drive up, come and enjoy our massive party to celebrate 20 years of this podcast. Me, Zog and Richard Porter will be live on stage with guests. We're also going to have 2 bands playing, Pit Stop Boys and the On Speed Band, a full set of car-themed songs for you to jump and dance to. Buy your tickets now before it sells out. Information at garethjones.tv or search for Gareth Jones on Speed, 20 years on speed, on Eventbrite. See you there.
If you enjoyed this show, then please like, share and subscribe. For information on how to contact the show, see pictures, read song lyrics, follow us on social media, or to sponsor this podcast, go to garethjones.tv. Gareth Jones on Speed is made in Wales by Whiz Bang.
Oh, 2 last things. The name of the driver for A1 Team GP China was Ma Chinghua, and yellow in Polish is Zolta. Now you know. See ya.
Gareth Jones on Speed!